In 2011, I was fortunate enough to do 2 deer hunts on some Indian reservations in North and South Dakota. Standing Rock Sioux Reservation and the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. Like all reservations out west, the Cheyenne River and Standing Rock reservations get to manage their own game. They set their own seasons, they issue their own tags. On the Standing Rock, it's first come, first served to get the deer tags. I was able to get on the ball this year and get my tag fairly easily. On the Cheyenne River Reservation, it's more of a draw situation. I put in for a mule deer only tag up there. You got to pick mule deer or whitetail, and I ended up drawing the tag. So I didn't quite expect to draw it, and suddenly found myself faced with doing these two hunts in a relatively short period of time in an otherwise busy year. So good problems to have. Went up, hit the Standing Rock first. My goal there was to try and take a mule deer on the North Dakota part of the reservation. I had some sort of an odd goal that I had settled on to try and take a mule deer in North Dakota, and hunting on a reservation seemed like an opportunity to try and get it done. Up here in the North Dakota part of the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation, looking over some big basins, look like they ought to be good muley country. But I'm not seeing anything out there. I did see some muleys earlier on some agricultural land. So I think that's where I am. I think I'm up in the muley country. It's still early in the morning. Seems like there ought to be something moving, especially with the rut on. Saw a buck chasing a doe yesterday. Seems like they ought to be moving, but I'm not seeing anything. Might have to switch to do a little bit of whitetail later today. It's Friday afternoon, kind of quiet time of day, right around noon. We're in some new country. This looks like just beautiful country. Not seeing any deer, not seeing any sign either. No tracks, no scat. So I think I need to try another area. There's a cold front moving in tonight. Hopefully later today I can get into some good country. Deer will be moving, head to that front. So it's Friday afternoon, second day on my Standing Rock hunt. Storm's moving in tonight, so a little worried about that. And I got this other tag to go fill too, the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe. That tag's a mule deer only. And I think I might have a better chance of getting a bigger deer with that. So I was pretty eager to fill my tag today on Friday. Tried a new area, kicked up a whitetail about an hour into it or so. He was pretty good. He was about the width of his ears. So I decided to go ahead and close the deal. It's about a 5x4 or 5x5, depending on how you want to count. It's one little point on one side. Body's not too big, which is good, because I'm actually a long damn way from the truck. It's going to be a busy night getting him out of here before the snow hits. And let me tell you, it was a busy night. I decided to get the deer out whole, which was probably a mistake. I had to go up and down all kinds of gullies. Deceptively tough terrain, I gotta say. Ended up taking me 4 hours to get the deer back to the truck hole. By the time I was back, I was getting hypothermic. I mean, it was really pretty rough, and I was glad to get back to the hotel that night. It's a beautiful day here on the Cheyenne Sioux Indian Reservation. Got about 4 inches of fresh snow on the ground, about 20 degrees or so. With the sun out, it actually feels really nice. Once that sun goes down, it's going to get real cold real quick. Hoping the deer will get up off their beds. There's some hay fields on the river bottom down below. Might catch them moving there, might just catch them in the cedars. But I hope to see some action. I'm running a little bit low on time, so I need to get into the mule deer pretty quick. The land on the Cheyenne River Reservation is managed by individual members of the tribe who basically run ranches on the tribal land. What that means is you've got to contact those guys and get permission to hunt on their property. And once you have their permission, you can only hunt on their property. I had not done the homework I should have done going into this hunt, and it took me quite a while to get permission to hunt on a given ranch. Like, I burned a day or two just trying to get my permission lined up. So that's definitely something to think about if you draw on the Cheyenne River. By the time I did get my permission lined up, I was pretty eager to get going. The ranch I was on did seem to have great potential. I'm pinned down. There's 5 muley does right over the ridge. I can't really move or they'll bust me. The sun's going to go down pretty quick, so I think I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to sit here. They can be seen really easily all up and down this big draw, so maybe they'll pull in a buck. If not, I'll wait till the sun gets a little bit lower and get some more shadows going, and then I think I can move, look for some more deer. I made it back to the truck. That's good. Those 5 does had me pinned down. Never got up, so I finally decided to get up and spook them. When I got up, they didn't care. They just kept lying there, watching me walk through the draws. I did finally get a shot on a buck, but it was a 2-point. It was the twin brother of the first mule deer I ever shot. Big, wide 2-point. It sounds small, but a 2-point muley can be about 18 inches wide, 10-inch deep forks. That's not, not what I want to shoot here, though, so I certainly didn't shoot it. The other reason I wouldn't shoot it is because it is nasty country, and if I thought getting that whitetail out was tough, I think this muley would have been even tougher. The next morning I headed back to that same ranch, spent the first 45 minutes or so shooting hours glassing from the truck. That sounds a little wussified, but I didn't know the ranch that well, and it's a lot of country to look over, so I thought it was best to see as much as I could. And it worked out. I spotted a small whitetail moving through the breaks but down closer to the river, and I spotted a small mule deer buck a little further up into the breaks. But I knew I had to get out of the truck and go see if I could kick something out of the cedar thickets, especially since it was the last day and the clock was ticking. So I'm here with my first ever South Dakota muley. It's about 8:30 and the last day of my hunt. I'd seen a couple bucks this morning. Saw a smaller 4x4 right by the road, but he was pretty small. And even though he was right by the road, I didn't want to take him. Started coming back across this big draw. Saw that same 2-point from yesterday. I came over another rise where I'd seen 3 does bed this morning, and they were there right where I thought they'd be. I kind of got down on my knee, looking around for a buck, hoping one might pop up with them, but that didn't happen. I was getting a little discouraged, kind of turned around to leave, and this guy had stood up about 40 or 50 yards from me, staring right at me. He's fairly wide, he's got a little width to him, and I thought he was a little bit bigger. So I went ahead and took the shot about 40 or 50 yards. He jumped up, I could tell he was hit, but then he took off running, disappeared over the horizon into this deep draw. And I immediately started to get a little worried because he hadn't gone down quicker than that, because I hit him so close with my 300. I went over and I found his bed. It smelled like somebody had set a buck bomb off there. It just stunk of rotten buck right there. But there was no blood at all. And a lot of other tracks too. So I tried to track him down the hill. Had a little bit of trouble with it. Did eventually pick up the track. It looked like it was probably his. And it led me right down to him. There's a hill behind me. He came sliding down there like a ton of bricks. Didn't go 75 yards maybe. So, South Dakota muley, last day. It's only about a third of a mile to the truck from here, but it's a straight uphill. So it's going to take me a while to get him out, get him loaded up, start making my way back home, get ready for the Thanksgiving holiday. So with this deer, I decided not to repeat the mistake I felt I had made on the Standing Rock whitetail. Decided to cut this one up and get him out on my back. In my day pack, I had a set of game bags from a company called Tag Bags. These are great, lightweight game bags. I actually liked them so much that I contacted the company after this hunt. I got them to be an advertiser on Hunt the West. You can get more information on them at huntthewest.com. I cut this deer up, bagged him up. Took one trip back to my truck to get rid of my day pack and my rifle, and I picked up a larger frame pack. Came back down, loaded the deer up, and in one slow, heavy trip, I got him back up the hill and into the truck, and it was a heck of a lot easier trying to get a deer out whole. All in all, I had a great trip. The country's beautiful up there. People are real nice. There's a lot of deer. I'll put in for both of these again soon. I'll plan a trip in the next year or two. If you're planning a trip of your own, one thing you want to keep in mind is on the Standing Rock, when you draw your tag, you get your tag and you get access to a whole bunch of tribal land. On the Cheyenne River, when you get a tag, you get your tag and you get a list of names and phone numbers. And then your work's just starting, making calls, getting access lined up. Both good hunts though. I'll do them again soon.